Segment 1, Night 1, Footprints in the Mist. Extension, Lochan Uaine, Day 1. A mist curls around the edges of Lochan Uaine, its waters black and still beneath the pale autumn sun. The cairngorms rise like jagged teeth in the distance. Elliot Shaw, 34, rugged, with calloused hands and a weathered face, carries a small backpack along the lakeshore. He scans the tree line as if expecting something, but sees only silver birch and pine swaying in the highland wind. Elliot sets up a small campsite on a flat patch of ground, clearing rocks from the soil. He lays down a lightweight tent, strings up a tarp, and arranges a modest campfire. The serenity of the wilderness envelops him, the only sound is the occasional call of a red deer in the mist. He sets a small fishing rod by the shore, hooks a trout, and loosens his boots. The camera lingers on his hands as they work the line, his face illuminated by the reflected green-black water. The mist swirls around him like ghostly tendrils. Extension, Lochan Uaine, Night 1. The campfire casts a warm glow over Elliot's lean figure. Steam rises from a small kettle. He listens to the soft rustling of the forest. Shadows stretch long and thin across the ground. Suddenly, a voice pierces the quiet. Voice, OS. Elliot, help me. I'm hurt. It's a low, male voice, thick with a Scottish accent, distant yet disturbingly intimate. Elliot freezes, straining his eyes into the fog. Elliot. Who's there? Show yourself. No answer, only the soft crunch of leaves. The voice seems to circle him, appearing first behind the trees, then near the water, then vanishing altogether. A cold sweat forms on Elliot's brow. He grips his axe, its handle slick with condensation. A sudden flash of light, he swings the torch in wide arcs, and the beam catches a figure standing near the tree line. A man, or something resembling a man, 1.9 meters tall, dressed in a black raincoat, his face hidden behind a grotesque deer mask, antlers rigid and imposing. He tilts his head as if observing Elliot, not threatening, just watching. Time stretches. The figure does not move, but Elliot's heartbeat drums in his ears. Elliot, VO. I faced fire, I faced floods, nothing prepared me for this. Instinct takes over. Elliot bolts into the fog, abandoning the tent, the fire, everything. The camera follows from behind, the mist obscuring his path, branches slapping his face. The figure does not chase, it merely tilts its head, observing. Behind him, the sound of a deer horn hunting call echoes 3 times, loud, metallic, unnatural. Elliot doesn't look back. Extension, Highland Forest, Night 1. Elliot runs blindly, scrambling over roots, skidding on wet leaves. A swampy pit almost swallows him, but he flings himself clear. His lungs burn, the mist clings to his clothing. Every sound, the snap of a twig, the drip of water from a branch, feels amplified. Elliot, VO. I don't know who they are, why they're hunting me. All I know is that I can't stop running. 7 miles later, he stumbles onto a narrow dirt track, nearly breaking his ankle. Dawn is a ghostly grey on the horizon. He reaches his old, battered car, and freezes. The review mirror is shattered, a thin scar across the glass. Etched along the edge, almost imperceptible in the dawn light. Text on mirror. See you next season. Elliot slumps against the door, gasping. The mist swirls around the car as though it had never stopped moving, hiding secrets in its grey folds. Segment 2, Night 2, The Betrayal at Glen Feshie. Extension, Glen Feshie Forest, Day 1. The forest is dense, ancient pines and silver birch creating a tunnel of shadow. Golden leaves swirl in gusts of wind. Nathan Cole, 29, lean, wiry, eyes darting constantly, trudges along a narrow trail with a rucksack and hiking poles. He carries a thermos, carefully packed supplies, and a sense of unease he cannot shake. Nathan reaches a clearing where a small camping site is prepared. His friend, Marcus Kane, mid-30s, tall and wiry, already has a tent pitched. Marcus smiles in a way that feels too controlled. The sunlight glints off something metallic in his hand, an old walkie-talkie, wires exposed. Nathan. Thanks for coming out, Marcus. I just wanted a little distraction. Marcus nods, but his eyes flicker red in the sunlight, unnaturally so. Nathan notices too late, a faint bloodstain on Marcus's boot, smeared but dried. Extension, Glen Feshie Forest, Night 1. The campfire throws flickering light across Nathan's tense face. He sips hot tea, ears straining. The wind whispers through the trees, carrying strange, faint metallic sounds, like claws scraping stone. Suddenly, Marcus disappears into the darkness, leaving behind a damp, earthy smell mixed with smoke. He returns minutes later, smiling awkwardly, hands clean, eyes still unnaturally red. Nathan shrugs uneasily, pretending not to notice. As later, Nathan wakes abruptly. The tent is cold. Marcus's side is empty, his sleeping bag neatly folded, but there's a streak of dark, viscous liquid smeared across the ground, like blood mixed with soot. A whisper echoes. Voice, OS. He's awake, start the loop. Nathan freezes. He crawls from the tent, flashlight trembling in his hand. Extension, Glen Feshie, Night 2. Nathan sees Marcus in the clearing, standing stiffly with his back turned, speaking in low tones into the walkie-talkie. Leaves crunch around him with every subtle movement. Suddenly, Duncan, the watcher, steps out from the trees. 35, imposing, silent, carrying a folded tent that Nathan instantly recognizes, Elliot's tent, smeared with dried blood and bits of torn fabric. A subtle stench of decay clings to it. Marcus slowly turns, a crooked grin spreading across his face. Marcus. You weren't supposed to see this, mate. Nathan's stomach turns. He realizes he's been led into a trap, his friend a pawn of something far darker. The faint glow of the moon reveals small scratches on the trees nearby, flecks of crimson, marks of previous victims, subtle but undeniable. The deerhorn hunting call rings out 3 times, shrill and echoing, vibrating through Nathan's chest. His pulse spikes. Extension, Glen Feshie, escape. Nathan bolts. The camera follows from a low angle, mud splashing onto the lens as he runs along a rocky stream. The water rises to his knees, cold, biting. Behind him, shapes flicker in the trees, shadowy figures with antlered masks, moving just at the edge of vision. Branches whip his face. He trips over roots, his hands skimming mud and wet leaves darkened by old blood, leaving faint red streaks on his jacket. Reaching his car, Nathan finds a slashed tire and his rucksack ripped open, supplies scattered. The camera lingers on a tiny scrap of fabric with a dark stain, a macabre calling card. He begins the 3-mile run to the ranger station, each step echoing through the quiet forest. Every rustle makes him jump, every shadow seems alive. Marcus appears fleetingly between trees, just for a second, smiling with blood-red eyes before vanishing again. Extension, Glen Feshie Forest, Night 3. Nathan reaches the ranger station as dawn begins to break. He collapses, gasping, covered in mud and frost. In the quiet, a faint sound drifts from the forest, a metallic scrape followed by a low whistle, a reminder that he was hunted, and this cycle is far from over. Segment 3, Night 3, the first and last trip. Extension, Evermore, abandoned campsite, late afternoon. Liam Reid, 26, young, wiry, first-time camper, trudges along a narrow trail through dense Scottish pines. Mist clings low, curling around moss-covered trunks. His breath comes out in white puffs, a sense of unease gnaws at him. He passes an abandoned campsite, charred logs, torn tent fabric, and faint streaks of dried blood glimmering on rocks. Liam freezes. The hairs on his arms rise. Liam, VO. I thought I was prepared. I thought I was careful. But something doesn't feel right. He shakes off the thought and continues toward a rustic wooden cabin he rented for the night, carrying a small backpack and flashlight. Extension, Evermore, trail to campsite, dusk. Branches snap behind him. Liam glances back, and nothing. A soft rustle repeats, perfectly in rhythm with his steps. Shadows flit just at the edge of his vision. His pulse quickens. Liam, VO. It's like someone's walking behind me. Or watching. Always watching. He reaches the campsite, a small clearing with a mossy ground, a shallow creek nearby. A figure sits cross-legged at the edge. Duncan, 35, tall, silent, mask in hand, eyes glinting. He wears a mesh tent like a hermit, no gear, no fire. Duncan. Evening. You're alone. That's lucky. Liam stiffens. He watches Duncan carefully. The man does not move except to tilt his head, smile faintly, eerily, like a predator evaluating prey. Extension, Evermore, campsite, night. Liam sets up his small tent. Inside, he tries to relax, but the faint metallic tang of blood hangs in the air. He imagines the previous victims, Elliot, Nathan, slain here or somewhere along the trails. He decides to leave, abandoning the campsite. As he steps onto the trail, he glances back. Duncan is standing, mask in hand, motionless, staring. Liam's pace quickens, the forest seems to close in. Extension, Evermore, forest trail, night. Every step crunches on frosty leaves. Liam turns around. Duncan is 50 meters back, moving slowly, methodical. In the dim light, Liam sees the faint glimmer of antlered mask. A low whistle echoes, a twisted, echoing deer call signaling the hunt's climax. Liam runs. Heart pounding, lungs burning. His flashlight casts jerky shadows on the trees, revealing glimpses of branches smeared with dried blood, remnants of past victims. Extension, cabin, night. Liam reaches the rented cabin, slamming the door. He locks it, heart racing. Suddenly, the door shudders violently. A voice, deep and commanding, booms through the forest. Reese, OS, the caller. Liam. Open up. We know you're alone. Liam grabs his phone. No signal. A window shatters, a gloved hand snakes through the jagged glass. Liam grabs a bottle of whiskey and throws it into the fireplace. Flames surge, smoke fills the room. The intruder stumbles back, momentarily blinded. Seizing the moment, Liam bolts out the back door into the forest. The smell of smoke and charred wood lingers, the cabin burns behind him. Extension, forest, night to dawn. He sprints through underbrush, branches whipping his face, mud sucking at his boots. The distant deer horn call echoes, fading into silence as the first